This is the most professional auto safety evaluation by DCAR. There are three main tests. 35 miles per hour 30% overlap crash test against truck. 40 miles per hour 40% frontal offset crash test against a deformable barrier. 50 miles per hour 70% rear end crash test. The models tested are best sellers in China, purchased randomly from dealerships nationwide. All tests are conducted by the BQI. Tire pressure in the low voltage system were checked before test. The battery level is maintained at 50% plus or minus 5%. Fuel tank is drained and filled with dyed water. Original batteries, motors, and antifreeze are kept. The 35 miles per hour 30% frontal offset crash test uses the IIHS semi-trailer under ride crash standard. 2 dummies in the front row. The calibration includes the weight of data acquisition and video equipment. The tested truck rear guard will have the same ground clearance, strength and height. Key assessments include the vehicle's structural compatibility with the truck's rear guard, whether airbags and restraint systems activate correctly, and whether the call system works. The low voltage system was working, hazard lights were on. The call system activated, but the operator can't hear.
您好，
您好，发生事故吗？要报警吗？
您能听见吗？能听到吗？
回答小白。
Doors could unlock and open. Rescue and extrication rating, great. The frame absorbed the crash energy well and the truck's rear guard worked. The A pillar broke and the B pillar was intact. Rear space and C pillar were unaffected. Structure and safety cage rating, moderate. The airbags deployed early. A pillar broke, but the passenger was protected well. Only the chest was injured badly and the rib might be fractured. Moderate. Driver dummy sustained mild chest and leg injuries. Acceptable. A pillar broke, but the front passenger was well protected. Overall rating of crash, acceptable. 40 miles per hour 40% frontal offset crash against a deformable barrier. Simulating a crash against other vehicles. This is the IIHS Moderate Overlap Frontal Crash Evaluation, a standard in NCAP assessments. All vehicles are set to the maximum load. Front, 1 driver, second row, 2 dummies. If there is third row, 2 dummies. The call system activated and connected.
你好，现在发生事故，需要报警吗？
没事，我误触发了，您能听见吗？
听得到。
Rescue and extrication rating, great. B pillar top end was deformed slightly, without impact on doors. As a body-on-frame car, It absorbed energy effectively, including shotgun. Structure and safety cage rating, great. All airbags deployed. The pre-tension seat belts activated early. The dummy sustained mild chest and leg injuries. Acceptable. Front restraint system, great. The 2 rear dummies sustained serious injury to chest. Moderate. Rib might be fractured. Rear restraint system, acceptable. "40 miles per hour 40% frontal offset crash test rating, acceptable. 50 miles per hour 70% rear end crash by a 1 point for T-test vehicle. Simulating a secondary high-speed rear ending. The dummy layout and weight distribution remained unchanged. According to the U.S. Federal Regulations 301 and 305, major focuses are fuel and battery leakage, thermal runaway, and structural integrity. After the test, there was no fuel leakage. Fuel system integrity, great. The door frame was slightly deformed and impacted the rear door opening. Rear end structure rating, acceptable. Mercedes-Benz G350 overall rear end crash test rating, great.